Very good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Vishal.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
All
Very
right.
good
morning, everyone.
Good morning, Vishal.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Vishal.
Am I audible? Why
Yeah.
mo why my
All
voice?
right.
Very good morning, everyone.
It is repeating.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Let me see. Just for testing. Is it okay? My voice is coming, right? Only echo is happening, right? From same voice.
Yeah.
Let's see if it is happening. So it's fine, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then it's good. Ah, tech glitch. I don't know what happened. Just 1 more minute more, then we'll start. All right, so welcome you all in the session and let's start. Are you guys excited? Because we have to start our module from today onward. Without any fail, we have to go on a regular basis. Okay. So in last session, we have understand some basic concept of the general networking. Not even we touch about the SD-WAN. What is SD-WAN? Why we need SD-WAN? We just discuss about some basic fundamentals, right? How basically problem was there, how networking was working in past, and how this SD-WAN is going to solve that kind of problem. But let's start without any further delay. Actual content of the SD-WAN means when we start this session, what kind of learning you are going to get, what kind of the course content is going to look like, and how we are going to achieve our goal by doing this all course content learning. Means step by step we're going to understand what is the syllabus, right? Quickly we'll go through that, and what are the key concept we have to understand, and how we can just execute in the labs. Especially for the labs, right? I design a lot of labs for you all, a lot of R&D I have done, right? So you guys are keep asking, sir, 20.0, even Catalyst SD-WAN. So those all labs are available with me only for the latest all versions. If you go and try to simulate in the lab, there are a lot of bugs. So they are not stable, right? They're not stable in the labs, but we have the stable version as well in the lab. So everything, 100% thing you're going to test in the lab without any failure, but only if you just want to run the latest code in the lab, right? Where might be you are going to find the new kind of dashboard that might be going to get in problem, but remain all concept is going to be same. Means you don't have to worry about anything. Means let me show you this. Let's suppose I'm going to open this vManage. Hi Nishant, mute yourself. So
Hi, sir.
hi, good morning.
Hi.
Please mute if there is background noise from your side. So you can say this is my latest SD-WAN, right? One of the version I'm using here. That is my basically 20.3.2.1, right? And prior that we have 19 versions, and right now we have the 20 version. 21 version is still not come in the market, right? So only we have a two version. Earlier it was 17, 16 was first, 17, 18, 19, and we are on the 20 right now. So we'll see how the dashboard is going to look like in the 20 and 19. They are exactly same. Just you're going to find minor changes. So I'll explain those minor changes as well. You don't have to worry about anything. But let's start. So lab is going to be perfectly fine. You're going to get everything in the lab. Don't you have to worry about anything. Now, if I talk about the Cisco SD-WAN, next generation networking, then we have to understand what kind of the course curriculum is going to look like, what the training methodology is going to be happen, and what the learning outcome is going to happen. So definitely this training program is all about 2+ month. It's going to happen because we are targeting on the weekends. So every week, almost 2+ hour or minimum 2 hour, we are going to do our sessions. Means 9 to 11 or might be the 11:30. So we'll try to finish within the 2 month, and that we are going to do everything in a deep dive. I'll start from today only. We'll talk about the basic fundamentals. We'll talk about the how RIV, how FIV, what is the control plane, what is data plane, what is the management plane, how the legacy routing is going to work, and how the legacy routing is going to integrate with the SD-WAN solutions. And when they have to talk these legacy routings and the SD-WAN routing together, then how the redistribution is going to happen. Then we'll move on the control plane, how it is going to define in the legacy routers, and how this control plane is going to define in the SD-WAN router, right? And how my central routing is going to happen in terms of the SD-WAN solution, and how my isolated or might be the inbox routing was happening in the legacy WAN solutions. So those concepts we're going to understand theoretically initially, because the fundamentals should be very much clear. If your fundamental is not clear, then probably you're not going to understand the complex concepts in futures, right? So that's why we are going to discuss in depth knowledge about the everything, how this solution is going to look like, and then everything is going to online, we know that. And definitely after this learning, you are going to get a very good experience on the SD-WAN. You're going to get hands-on knowledge, so you are going to crack interviews, or might be you're also going to get the internal career progression of your organizations. So there are a lot of opportunities. And if I talk about the labs, so as I showed, this is our lab, master lab topology. So this lab topology is going to stay with you for next 2 months, right? And this lab is going to work 24/7. Means anytime, whenever you're working a night shift, day shift, morning shift, afternoon shift, US, EMEA, whatever shift you're working, you don't have to worry. You can open this lab even from your office laptop, but make sure your VPN is not connected. Means sometime, because we are using the custom ports, so on VPN custom port might not be allowed. So whenever you're going to access the labs, disconnect your VPNs, use your plain internet, and then it is going to work, right? And you can access this lab without any problem. So that's the how lab topology is going to look like. It's the same lab we are going to do in our session. Means this lab is not going to have any configuration. When I start the lab, zero configuration will be in the lab. So we'll start from very scratch, and we'll make sure every IP schema related and other basic underlayer connectivity will build together. And then after that, we'll have the testing and other advanced concept learning. So you guys are going to become the hands-on experience after this session. Now, if I talk about the syllabus, so this is not designed by the GUINET syllabus. This is the Cisco syllabus, and we are just going to follow the official Cisco syllabus for the Cisco SD-WAN. So the same syllabus which I am showing, there are total 6 modules is going to happen in this entire training. So the first module is going to be about the architecture, how the SD-WAN architecture is going to look like. Then we have to understand how my controllers are going to be deployed, how my routers are going to be deployed, means especially the SD-WAN routers, how we can create the policies. And in between controller and router deployment, we have the two method. One is the CLI mode deployment, means how we can do the configuration, all the controllers and router via the CLI. Another that is the GUI mode configuration. So this GUI mode, sometime you can going to known as the vManage mode. So we have to understand how this is also going to be happen. Means the aim of the SD-WAN is you must have to do the configuration via the GUI, less you have to do the CLI. But because of we are learning here, so we have to understand both of the flavors. So we have the right picture in our mind. Even I have to do a CLI some changes or some troubleshooting, how I can do that. And if I have to do by the GUI, then how I can do that. So this template part is going to be there. I don't know you guys are aware of template or not. So there are two terms is going to use. One is the feature template and one is device template. So we'll see how this feature template and device template are going to use to basically to configure the controllers and the routers. So we are going to understand. Then the brain part is going to come here as the policy. So this policy is nothing, just intelligence in the SD-WAN, how we can manipulate the traffic, how we can do the traffic steering, right? How we can just make the topology like hub to spoke, means hub and spoke, spoke to spoke, and other kind of the any manipulation you want to do some manipulation based on the routes, sites, some kind of VPN, some kind of the tag, some kind of the like other attributes. So it's absolutely going to use in the policy, and you are going to do that for your all configuration. Then we have the security and quality. Then how security is going to be integrated with the SD-WAN solution, how the QS is going to be integrated, and then policy means overall management and operations. That how we can do the software upgradation, day-to-day troubleshooting, and management alerts and other events, how we can do that. So there are 6 modules we are going to cover throughout this session, right? And if I do the deep dive little bit about the modules, you are going to find it like in this architecture module, basically you are going to learn more and more about the theoretical concept of the SD-WAN. Means how this SD-WAN is going to work. What is orchestration plane? What is my management plane? What is my control plane? Means where the vSmart OMP come in a picture, where the vManage come in a picture, where the vBond is going to come in a picture, what is a WAN is, what is a TLOC, IPsec, GRE, and vRoute and VFD. Also, you are going to understand what are different kind of the WAN platforms and its capabilities. And also we'll understand what are different cloud on ramp services, software as a infrastructure, software services, infrastructure services, and co-locations. So these all will understand it theoretically. So when you actually start working on the configuration part and troubleshooting part, at least you know the actual component meaning. Means you are going to get the T-lock, so you know why T-lock is there. If you're going to know about the colors, you must know what is the color. If you're going to learn about system IP, then you must know what is my system IP, what is my V routes, what is my BFD, why you use the IPsec and why do you use the GRE, what are my V1 and NAT and the vManage and the vSmart. So everything we are going to do a deep dive in the architecture sections. Once we have the very good understanding, which is going to start today only, the most theoretical part, then we have to move in the controller deployment method. In this method, we have to understand, let's suppose I have to deploy the brains, especially for the controllers, that is my vManage, vWAN, vSmart. Then how we can deploy, what are the options available in the market, right? And which strategy should we find for my company deployment? Whether I go for my in-house data center deployment, if I'm going to deploy in the data center, do I need to purchase the controller? If physically, it's a virtually, right? And if it's the physical, then how it is going to deploy? If the virtual, then how it is going to deploy? So those all option we have to explore. Although the controllers are never going to be physical, but you should have to explore what are the options available. It's only the virtual devices. So I'll explain how it is going to deploy in the data center, clouds, private cloud, public cloud. Then how we can build the redundancy, how we can build the scalability, that also we'll discuss about that. Most important and complex part in the SD-WAN to understand about the certification, whitelisting. Means every devices, basically SD-WAN completely work on the zero trust model, right? I'm sure you guys might be heard about it. If you not heard about it, I'll explain what is a zero trust model. In short, means if you want to join any fabric, let's suppose I bring one of the network or I build one of the network in my company and I want to introduce a new router to just join that network to serve the one of the branch location. That router cannot join immediately that fabric unless or until he going to prove his identity. That is a zero trust model. So there are some certain limitations, certain parameters must be going to check by the controller. If that is going to match, then only he is going to allow to join that particular fabric. If it is not going to match, it is going to not join the fabric. Clear? And then we have to understand how to troubleshoot control plane. Let's say my control plane is flapping. Then how can troubleshoot and what are the methods? We'll discuss about that also. Router deployment, the next one. This deployment is going to discuss more about the routers part. Means how, because this is the most important activity you have to do always day by day. You have to deploy the routers. So what are the process to deploy the routers? Means what are zero trust provisioning we have? How can deploy the VH router? How we can deploy the CH router? That we have to understand. What is the meaning of the plug and play? What is my data center? What is my regional hub deployment? This all we have to understand. And at the same time, we have to understand how my circuit termination is going to happen. What is my T-lock extensions, dynamic tunnels, how it is going to be created, underlay versus overlay connectivity. These are the key concept to understand. If we are not going to understand these all things, probably it is going to be, very trouble when we have the troubleshooting scenario because you're not able to logically think what is happening in this network unless and until you have to, very much clear about the circuit termination, T-lock extensions, how the tunnels are getting built, how my underlay was formed, what is my overlay was formed, and then how OMP is going to be configured, how my TLOC is going to be configured, and how I can integrate my edge router with my legacy routing protocol, VRP, BGP, OSPF. And then we have to understand what is the multicast feature available in the SD-WAN, like Fabric. So, guys, any questions about these three modules? Like we discussed the architecture, control deployment, and router deployment. I hope it is clear, right? Pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me or raise your hand or put in chat or speak up. Whatever you feel fine. No problem for me. Now, the most important part is the policy because everything is important, but policy is something where always engineers are like facing like a struggle. How basically these policies can be configured, how this policy can be troubleshoot, how we can design the right policy for our requirements. That's the another challenge. So I'll make very simplified way where I'll explain how my localized policy is going to be created, how my centralized policy is going to be created, what is my control policy, what is my data policy, and how further it has been classified in the centralized policy. In centralized policy, you're going to find centralized control policy, centralized data policy. Similarly, in localized policy, you're going to find localized data policy and localized control policy. So I'll try to my best. I try my best to explain how these are the different policies are designed and why it is designed and how you can configure and leverage the feature for the actual configuration of the SD-WAN. So that's why you can see control plane, data plane, and localized policy and centralized policy. These two are divided in the two different segments. So we'll see. Then we have to do end-to-end VPN segmentations, topology segmentations, like hub and spoke to spoke, how it is going to happen. And we have to understand how the application aware routing is going to look like, how my DIA circuit is going to be configured. So these all things we'll understand, and we will deploy in the labs also. So theoretically we are going to be strong, and practically also we are going to be strong, because we'll see the results, how my application aware routing is going to happen. That's the most important routing features. Then we have the security features. We have to understand how my security is going to be configured. Yes, Nishant, there is a prerequisite. To be honest, if you have the basic static routing concept, plus if you know how the BGP is going to be configured for the underlay, so you are good to go. So basic static routing is going to require. So I can say CCNA level of knowledge you have, then static routing is going to be covered, and some basic knowledge of the BGP also is going to be very value addition for you, because everything is new, but these are going to use as an underlay. So you have to configure these protocols when you want to build the SD-WAN fabric. So that's the prerequisite. Rest are everything is going to be new. Okay. Redistribution might be going to help, because you also have to do the redistribution part as well. Yes, Nishant, go ahead, please.
No,
Any, you clear?
yes.
Very nice.
And good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, Austin.
Yeah. So, um, so these by seeing all these contents, it really sounds good. Now, just when it comes to security part, I just would like to know what kind of firewall we are using here for security concepts,
That's a good,
because
yeah.
there are because there are multiple vendors. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. It's a good question. Always, whenever you have a question, please ask me. It's always good to us, because we are here for learning. I'm very open to discuss anything.
Okay.
So, in this SD-WAN box, when you're going to purchase, you're going to find the SD-WAN router. Let's suppose you purchase the VH router, VH 1000 router, or might be the 2000 router, or 5000 router. This router itself have the firewall feature. This router itself have the firewall feature. You just have to enable. I'll show you how to enable that as well. Make sense? So you don't have to purchase any additional firewall. The firewall which is going to inside of the router, that itself will come as an enterprise firewall which understand the applications, means next generation firewall. They
Mhm.
are the next gen firewall, means these are going to work from L2 to L7 level, means every level of the packet they're going to inspect. They understand the application, they have the intrusion preventions, intrusion detection, URL filtering, advanced malware protections, SSL and TLS proxy features as well for decryptions. So these are the all features already available in this particular firewall. You just have to take certain licenses. Let's suppose you want to take the advanced malware protection for the real time. So you have to take the Cisco licenses. URL filtering, you have to also have to take the licenses, but some basic feature you can use for your testing point of view. DNS, like you want to use the Cisco umbrella, so you have to integrate the DNS security. So you have to take the license that as well. So some licenses are going to require, but most of the features, even for the basic firewall, you can use free of cost in the same SD-WAN solution. But in this course, we don't have to focus much on the firewall. You can see this is just to describe, to just understand what the features are available and how the DNS security, how the SIG is going to be integrated. That I'll explain, and also I'll give the free lab, means because I'm the security like trainer as well, so I know how it is going to be enabled for the FortiGate checkpoint. Similarly, Cisco SA firepower, and this one also. So I'll help you that as well, how one lab is going to be integrated in the real production. Make sense, Austin?
Yeah, it makes sense. So in that case, we can assume like so it's primarily going to use Cisco vendor security features in this case. Maybe the best next
It's a
generation
Cisco, it's a
firewall.
Cisco, a Cisco vendor. Viptela is no more Viptela, it's a Cisco. So technically, it's a Cisco firewall feature is there. But it's a VH router, it's having that feature. It's SD-WAN firewall. It's not like a Cisco ESA or Cisco Firepower FDT. It's not like
Mhm.
that. It's a inside of the box itself have. You don't have to purchase anything else.
Okay, okay,
Likewise, if you're going to purchase for the especially firewall, then you have to purchase from Cisco like Cisco ESA or might be the Firepower. There are two options we have. Make sense? Or if you're going to another vendor, you're going to purchase like Palo Alto, FortiGate, Checkpoint, suppose. But if I'm using my SD-WAN, and this SD-WAN box itself have the firewall module available. So I can save the cost now. I just enable the feature and I can do the same thing what Cisco Firepower can do that or ASA can do that. Make sense? So
okay.
within the box, we have the firewall feature. You don't have to purchase anything. That's why now it's a cost saving feature available. Means we
Yeah.
have integrated feature already inside of the single box.
So it's going to suffice all the security features, so we don't
Yes,
have to go for a different
yes.
box then.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll
Okay.
let me. It's a good point. Let me see.
Because if I want to, if I'm a concern more about securing my LAN and WAN,
Mhm.
so I can rely on this itself instead of going for a separate firewall if it is going to meet all of my requirements.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me see if it is going to log in. Give me 1 minute, guys.
Yeah, sure.
It'll take a little bit of time. Meanwhile, let's move on. Meanwhile, it's getting ready. So we were discussing about we have the security features inbuilt in the box. We just have to enable those features. You don't have to purchase anything else. And every advanced feature, TLS proxy, SSL proxy, DNS security, secure web gateway, that all is possible. Ajay is asking, sir, when we're discussing about the firewall, for example, FortiGate, will it even have the feature of the VH1? Yes, yes, yes. Same, na? See, Ajay, what is going to happen if I talk about the firewall? What are the main features they have? They have the layer 3 protections, means based on the IP. You can do the filtering. Layer 4 based on the ports, right? Layer 7 based on the application. Then after you have the URL, you have the content, right? You have the advanced malware protection, you have the decryption. They are the generally features come in every next generation firewalls, right? Even it's a FortiGate, Palo Alto, or might be any other vendors. Same all feature are available in the Cisco SD-WAN as well. So you don't have to worry about anything. Means you can do everything within the box. You don't have to purchase a new firewall. Like you can think every mobile coming in the market, they almost if I call the smartphone, they are the almost same feature. You can do the calling, basic same feature are going to be there. Some phones having some AI integration, some other features might be the special tool are going to be there. That's depend the cost of the phone or brand of the phone. But if I talk in generic, and if I go in the every segment of the phones, they are going to be same kind of the quality, same kind of the features. Similar, if I talk about the next generation firewall, even if this VH, it also having a similar kind of feature, but might be FortiGate and Palo Alto are the more specialized. So they have some advanced AI tool, ML integration. They have some content ID integration. So that's going to give an additional advantages. But yes, if I talk in generic, that all feature is going to available. Okay, Ajay?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Welcome. So let me show you if you can log in again. Why it's not working correctly. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to show you something, but some reason it's not working. Let me restart it. Let them restart, okay? If not, I'll use a different vManage. We have the another spare one. I'll use them because I'm doing some R&D, so I just wanted to show something. Now we have to understand the QS, quality of service, how the scheduling is going to be happen, how the shaping is going to be happen, how the policing is going to happen, how the marking is going to be happen, how we can do the per tunnel and adaptive QS configuration in the SD-WAN. So those we have to understand, and based on that, we have to do the configuration as well. Because when you do the QS understanding, we have to understand how the configuration is also going to be happen. So this also we are going to discuss and we'll understand. Last thing is going to happen, like how my authentication, monitoring, reporting we manage, configuring the authentication, monitoring, and reporting, describe the REST API monitoring, these all, and describe the software image upgradation management from the vManage, how it is going to happen. So these all 6 modules is going to cover entire your configuration, your theoretical concept, and the troubleshooting concept, and your day-to-day BAU operations as well, how you can do that. So I hope it is clear to everyone. Any question about the module, just please let me know. Then at the last, why you choose the GUINET? Because you get certified, you'll get the completion certificate from our side, you're going to get the lab access. If you have any doubt, definitely I'm available in the sessions. Always next 1 year, you're going to part of this. Any repeat session also with me, or if any other instructor is going to come for the same course. So one-to-one mentoring is always going to be there for any interview, any kind of question, any kind of doubt if you have, that is available. You join our communities. If you're going to join our communities, you're going to get regular job updates. So you can visit our LinkedIn page or you ask the support number on this. Please add me on the community group, WhatsApp community group. So where you're going to get regular job updates across the world. We have the everywhere, like the lot of professional available. So they keep sending the jobs. So you can apply directly from there. And the video access is going to be always 20, like it's going to 24/7 and lifetime access. And definitely we are going to do the live session. So everything available for you, and we are here to help you. And let's discuss. If you have any Q&A, then we can have a discuss. Then we'll move to the next step. Any questions, guys? Or we are good now?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, firewall part. Anyways, you clear you're going to show something. Um, so other than that, we have some more topics to be covered. I'm not sure if it is part of your curriculum. So SASE, we have something called SASE, that is for security, Secure Access Service Edge, which
Mhm.
is part of SD-WAN. And then we have also migration part, uh, because once we learn in SD-WAN, so the
Mhm.
legacy MPLS to SD-WAN migration happens usually in the enterprise. So that will be definitely the requirement of each and every one, and
Mhm.
that meets the purpose of learning this course. So are
Mhm.
you covering migration part as well in this course?
Let me explain.
Okay,
So first part you asked was the SASE, okay?
that's it.
The
Yeah.
first question. So definitely we have to understand what is the SASE. SASE is known as the Secure Access Service Edge. So this is not a product, right? This is basically a blueprint, or might be you can say it's a concept, theoretically concept that has been designed by the Gartner. So SASE secures a service edge, and this SASE solution is going to contain multiple components. So what are the components? Say in SASE, the first component, if we talk about, that is the SD-WAN. Okay. The second component, you can just think about GTNA. The third concept, you can think about the secure web gateway. Fourth concept, you can think about the firewall as a service, right? So these are the broader area where you have to think about firewall as a service. So these are the key concept. One more area also, like you are going to find some other component also, but these are the major component you have to learn about it in SASE if you want to become the SASE engineer. So SD-WAN you are already learning. That means one of the leg you are already going to complete for the SASE. But for GTNA, complete GTNA and secure web gateway and the firewall services. So let's suppose you are going to learn the Palo Alto firewall or FortiGate firewall. That going to cover your firewall concepts, how it is going to be happen, or might be the Cisco firewall. Then going to do that. They are the basically the cloud security. Cloud security, you might be heard about the Prisma access, right? You might be heard about the Zscaler. So in SASE, we have the combination of the cloud security, combination of the WAN technology, that is the SD-WAN, and the firewalls. If we have everything, then my fabric is going to be become a secure access service edge. That is SASE. Because your WAN is going to be secure, your LAN is going to be secure, your all end-to-end traffic is going to secure. So we are not going to cover this Prisma, Zscaler. They are the like popular SASE vendors available in the market. So Palo Alto, you have the Palo Alto SD-WAN, Zscaler SD-WAN. So if you're going to take the Zscaler SASE solution, they will give the SD-WAN solutions. They will give the GTNA, they give the secure web gateway, they give the firewall as a service. So everything is going to be in that flavors. Same for the Prisma. But even I want to use the multi-vendor. So let's suppose I'm going to use Cisco SD-WAN. That's a one solution for my WAN. I want to use Zscaler for the my cloud security and firewall for the my to the Palo Alto. This is also possible. You can integrate all multiple vendor as per your choice. Then also it is going to make the SASE. Make sense? So we are not going to cover in this course this all steps, but one of the leg SD-WAN is part of the SASE only. The clear, Austin? The first question.
Yeah, sure. So that means SASE, it's a kind of fully security product which is integrated with SD-WAN. So we are going to learn it,
So
right?
that's why if I talk about SASE, they are going to combine these all products. So they
Okay.
your SD-WAN is going to be secure, your zero trust is going to be secure, secure gateway is going to be their firewall. So everything is secure here, right? That means your
Uh-huh.
whole infra is going to be secure. That is a SASE.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now moving to your second question, right? How migration is going to be happen, right? You're talking about the migration part. So
Yeah.
for the migration part, we have to understand, let's suppose we have the branch 1 and we have the branch 2. We have the branch 3. We have the branch 4. Let's suppose I have the 2 ISP. One is my internet and let's use another. I have the MPLS. They're going to make the connectivity right this way. Right. So let's suppose they are the basically your legacy WAN technology. So you have to migrate these all branch in the SD-WAN technology. This is the requirement is going to happen, right? So how my approach is going to happen? What is my first step I need to understand? So the very first step, you are very good. You should be very good in the routing and switching because you have to migrate. So your skills should be very good routing and switching. Why it's very important? Because you have to understand what are my WAN protocols are there, like either static, dynamic routing protocols, or how these are integrated with the LAN part, then what is my LAN protocols, especially for the routing, OSPF, GRP, or might be what is my FHRP, that is my, it's FHRP have three basically family members. One is the VLRP, HSRP, and we have the GLVP. So what the LAN first hop redundancy protocol is there, and how my switches are connected, that we have to understand. Once we have that good understanding, then we have to think how basically we start connecting my branches with my SD-WAN fabric. So there is two requirement. One, you have the WAN legacy WAN setup. One, you have to build the SD-WAN setup for the migration. So very first thing, you have to deploy your controllers. If there is no controllers, you cannot transform your branches for the SD-WAN. So you have to deploy some controller. This is the first. So when you're deploying this controller, vManage, vSmart, vWAN, these branches doesn't having any effect. So might be you're going to deploy the controller and you integrate this controller connectivity to the dual transport. Let's take an example. So they have the reachability to the controller. Now what you have to do that? Let's suppose this branch I want to move in the my SD-WAN solution. So first of all, I need to install my two routers here. The R1 here if two routers and R2. And here also my router is running R1 and R2. That's the legacy one. They are the new SD-WAN, right? So one site you have to make as a transit site when we're doing the migration. Let's talk in deeper side because you asked that. So anyhow, we have to discuss it. So one site we have to make as a transit site, means that site is responsible to make connectivity from SD-WAN to non-SD-WAN and from non-SD-WAN to SD-WAN. That's what transit. So basically we use as a data center site. So let's take branch 2 as a data center site. So what is going to happen? I integrate this router with the controller again, right? They're going to control via this ISP. Definitely the ISP is going to be there again here. The MPLS is going to be there and internet is going to be there. So they are going to form the control connections. So now my controller are ready. There is no downtime. My branches are ready. There is no downtime. Clear? Is it clear to everyone? Till here. My services are running absolutely fine. There is no any downtime, but my control plane is ready. My data plane is ready for the first one site, which is going to be data center as a control plane.
So these R1 and R2, they are Vantage 1 and Vantage 2, right?
Yes, WAN is 1 or 2 for the SD-WAN.
Okay.
Okay, clear? What next? Now, these are the SD-WAN router and these are the normal router. You have to integrate between these two. So this data center must be have some L3 switch. Okay. This might be connected here. This might be connected here. This is my SD-WAN router and non-SD-WAN. So I need to make the transit connectivity with this switch via LAN. Here is also LAN, here is also LAN. So as this SD-WAN routers can support the OMP in the WAN for the routing protocol, but LAN we can use the any routing protocol under any VPN. Might be I can use the OSPF, might be I can use the BGP. So what I can do that, let's suppose this branch have the one of the subnet 10.10.10.0/24. This is going to learn via the BGP till this R2. The router is going to receive. It will receive to the L3 router and it will hand off to this R2. Okay. And this R2 will further, let's suppose, have some LAN connectivity, or might be he's going to send to other branch. So it will send to the vSmart. And further, vSmart is going to send to the other router. Might be you don't know how the routing is going to happen, but I'm telling you the like high level how it is going to happen. So that this router is going to responsible to further send the route to the SD-WAN domain, and any SD-WAN route is coming, then again it is going to redistribute via any routing protocol to L3, and then it is going to raise to another branch. So this is going to act as a transit till the time my all branch is not going to become SD-WAN. Once my all branch is going to become SD-WAN, then there is no dependency of this transit is going to be required. My all routing is going to happen. Let's suppose this branch is migrated in SD-WAN. So everything is going to directly happen via this. If this is going to happen this, so directly it is going to there. So this is how migration approach is going to happen, Austin. So for that, you have to understand very good your legacy WAN and very good about the SD-WAN. And you just have to do the minor cutover to how the transition is going to happen. Exactly same process always going to follow for any migration. Makes sense, Austin?
Yeah, sure. So I think we have to take new ISP connections for our WAN Edge 1 and 2 for SD-WAN deployment before migration is done.
It's depend. You can take the new ISP or you can just then take a new circuit from the same ISP. But circuit is going to require. You cannot use the same circuit, which is
Okay.
running for the production. So it's totally up to you. If you want to use this, let's suppose I'm using the Airtel circuits in my legacy WAN, and I want to use another circuit from the Airtel itself for my SD-WAN router. So they will give. I have to pay extra. Makes sense. Once my old circuit is going to decommissions, then I have to stop billing for them. Or if
Yeah.
I want to take from Geo, then it's also possible I can take from Geo or might be the Verizon's or AT&T, whatever I want, I can do that. There's no problem.
Okay.
Sir, is this a must criteria to buy SD-WAN Edge routers to replace the legacy routers, or is there an option where we can use the legacy routers with some iOS upgrade?
Yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, definitely we'll talk about this. So in SD-WAN, especially for the Cisco SD-WAN, I'm talking. The one routers we have, the model is the VH. That's come as a VH 1000, 2000, 5000, like that. So they are the physical hardware, and also it's come as the VH Cloud. That for the virtual. So if you want to replace, let's suppose you have some any routers. Let's suppose Cisco router you have 1921 and you want to replace with this VH, then you have to buy the hardware. Definitely you have to buy the hardware. But let's suppose you have the some ASR series router, ISR series router, ASR 1000, ISR 4000 series of the router. In that case, you can upgrade the image and we can convert in the SD-WAN solution. That is known as a CH. So even our lab, we have the CSR router. You can see here, this CSR is CH, and in this is the normal Cisco SD-WAN router. We just have the upgraded image, and that is going to support my SD-WAN features as well. This is absolutely fine. We can do that. Clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And so for this migration part, I know it's not just 1 minute discussion. A lot of things are involved in this because everything, routing, switching, security, the entire your LAN, SD-WAN has to be migrated from legacy MPLS to SD-WAN. So it's very risky. There should be a proper plan, well designed. I think it could be a good idea if you can drive us all through one migration activity with a good topology, so that will be a very helpful because that's requirement has become for everyone now. So
Okay, what we can do that, let's suppose we have this router connected here. We can replace that branch as a normal router and we can try to do that redistribution connectivity. But
mhm,
I would suggest, right, migration strategy for the live is totally going to be different, right? You have to think your LAN infrastructure. So if you have any topology, you want to do the migration, just draw and let me know. So I will try to replicate that topology. Because for lab, already if I want to do that, I can make the transit of the in-use switches. I can just do the redistribution. Even I'll show how the firewall is going to be act as a transit here, right? When I have
mhm.
to pass the traffic. So that is also showing as a migration kind of the view. So
Oh,
we'll have to use different use cases, but if you have any specific use case, so I will say you draw your topology, what exactly your organization have need, and let me know. I will try to replicate that, so you'll get the better understanding. Else, even I explain, it is going to be worthless for you because, as I mentioned, every organization have the different kind of migration strategy. It's not going to be same. But logic is going to be always same. You have to always make a transit. One of the router, you have to be redistribute your legacy WAN. You have to hand up to the your SD-WAN protocol, OMP, and you have to redistribute your OMP protocol and hand up. Even we'll do in this sections as well how the redistribution is going to happen. So you're going to get better idea because we are in the beginning of the session. But when I start like adding the legacy WAN to the this routers, you'll get how the redistribution is going to happen. I'll create the exact LAN. I'll hand up some route from this router. It will come here and then we'll send to the SD-WAN. And once this legacy WAN again come to the via the SD-WAN, I will hand up to the my LAN. So you're going to see this all flavor in this lab only.
Yeah, for just you can take some 5 to 6 branches. So we can migrate one after the other branches from MPLS to SD-WAN. So probably there should be a different topology, then it will be good. If you want me to
We will
create,
cover, Ashwin, I'll cover the same topology. Don't worry. I'm saying I'll do the same topology. I'll do the handoff process, how it is going to offload the OMP route to the LAN and LAN to OMP. That is going to happen. Again, I'm saying if I have this specific topology for one or branch two, just let me know. I'll try to indicate. But whatever you're asking, it is going to happen. Just wait. When we start the configuration, I'll show you. The distribution part is going to come and handoff part is going to come here. So don't worry about that.
sure, probably later, not right away.
Yeah.
So sounds good. And one more thing, sir, there is one more topic called cloud on RAN. What is that, sir? Is that part of SD-WAN again?
Yes, we'll discuss about cloud and ramp as well. Don't worry. So I'll explain what is a cloud and ramp. So not right now. Let me show you. So we have to discuss cloud on ramp. So where is PPT? Here. So we have to discuss how the cloud and ramp is going to. So I'll explain what is the meaning of the cloud and ramp versus SaaS. So everything I'll explain, but we have to wait for that. Already part of the syllabus. You can see probably
Okay.
explain. Let me show you. They remove from the syllabus, but I'll cover. There are they have just changed the here you can see cloud and ramp. You can see. So these are the term you have to understand. All right.
Okay.
So don't worry. I was trying to show some security features as well. This student not responding. Give me 1 minute, guys. Why this pay manages? Give me 1 minute. Let me check one thing. Hold on. One minute, guys. One more minute. Let me check this lab one. Somehow we managed not responding correctly. I want to show something.
Yep, take your time, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Show interface tab. So let me just take an IP address. What is the interface country? ETH1. So I will go here. Interface ETH1 IP DSCP client No shit. Commit. I'll explain what I'm doing right now. I just want to show the dashboard. So I can just show the security feature and cloud and RAM feature also. Let's wait to get the IP address. Yeah, so we have the 192.168.1110. Let me try to log in. So you can see this is the dashboard of Cisco SD-WAN. And I was talking. So this is just, testing environment lab. I just built for this showcase something because I'm still doing testing. And this is the latest version we are running on this particular lab. We are running the code. That is my 20.3.5 latest code even we have. So you can see here, Austin talking about the security one, right? So you can see these all security features are available here. If you want to do that, any security, like you want to just start with the custom one. So the firewall features we have, intrusion preventions, we have the URL filtering, we have the advanced malware protection, we have DNS security, we have TLS SSL decryption, and the firewall means the final security summary. So what I'm trying to say, if I'm going to build even my SD-WAN fabric securely, I want to integrate the firewall, everything. I can enable the firewall for the L3 and L4 inspection, intrusion prevention, I can do that, URL filtering, I can do that, advanced malware protection, I can do that, DNS security, I can do that. And also I can integrate the SSL and TLS decryption. So I can create the firewall rule. So I'll show you later how it is going to create it. I'll show one demo where I'll show all feature, how it is going to be integrated and how finally it is going to combine with the actual policy section. That's the one section. Another section in this SD-WAN, we're talking about the cloud on RAM. So here, cloud on the RAM for the SaaS. So I'll enable this cloud on the RAM. How it is going to enable, I'll explain. So here you can say cloud on the RAM SaaS solutions. Right now it's a disable. So right now I'm not going to enable. I'll show you how it is going to enable. Once it is going to enable, let me do the enable for quickly. Then how it is going to helpful in terms of the my cloud application monitoring and sending the traffic toward them. So now you can see my cloud on RAM for the SaaS is enabled, and I can just start doing the configuration for the any services. Like I want to monitor any applications, Amazon, you can say Dropbox, Oracle. So I'll explain the concept and I'll showcase the labs as well. Is it fine till now, guys?
Yeah, sounds good. And sir, in that firewall security features, what you have showed now, so that will take care of branch to branch wise or centrally all the branches from the head office.
It's up to you. You want to send the traffic from branch to branch, then also it is going to apply, or you want to go on the internet, also it is going to apply.
Okay, so you don't need to have a separate firewall box
No,
in
no,
each
no,
and
no.
every
If you're
branch.
going to integrate this firewall, you don't have to worry about anything. It is going to work as a single pane of glass for your routing switching and the firewall. Even you're going to branch, and you are going to the internet, that is going to work for you.
So, but that will be a lot of overload on this, right? Managing all the branches if we have like 20, 25 branches, maintaining security features for every branches. Don't you think it will be overloaded
No,
with
so
lot of,
see now branch, let's suppose this is one branch, right? This branch
yeah,
have their own firewall. This branch, they have the own firewall. This branch, they have the own firewall. Every box have the firewall, no?
yeah, yeah.
So if it is going from this to this is going to be the firewall. This is going this is going to firewall. So it is not going to be overloaded. There are the every box even going to design. The company when it design the product, they design their backplane capability as well. How many sessions they are going to build, how many routing tables they are going to means how much routes they are going to install routing tables. So when you have the very large branch, where you have the very large offices, you have to take the large scale of the routers, means the high model of the routers, not the small model of routers, right? So
Hmm.
their performance is going to be always intact. So that's why you cannot buy a car for 10 people. If you have to travel with 10 people, then you have to buy might be the bus or something bigger than car or SUV. So you can carry the 10 people. If you have only the 4 people, then you can just go and buy the cars. Makes sense? Similarly, if you have to carry the very big traffic and you have to do the very big firewall processing, then you have to think about whether this particular product is actually going to carry those kind of the traffic or not. If I have my data center where I have the millions of the sessions, this SD-WAN's router is going to be dead. Makes sense. I have to use the some specific firewalls who is just expert in just managing those sessions. So might we go for the Palo Alto chassis based firewalls, 40 gate chassis based firewall, or other vendors. But let's suppose I have the normal WAN solutions everywhere. I have the 100 user, 2000 user, they are accessing thousands application, 2000 applications, or might be thousands user. Then SD-WAN is okay to use. It is going to give the same flavors. But if you're thinking I can deploy this in data center and they can just manage my billions of sessions, that it is going to be dead. Clear, Austin?
Yeah, so that means every branch has its own firewall on SD-WAN
Yes.
edge. Yeah.
Yes. Every routers it's have their firewall module. I will talk. I will explain. Wait for a while, okay?
Okay. And
It's
also, what about load balancer? Any features available
no,
here?
there's no load balancer feature. We have to do load balancing based on the routing protocols. Means we have
Oh,
the links. So similar in the WAN aggregations, we do the load balancing, load sharing based on the BGP OSPF. Similarly, here we can do that, but there is no load balancer feature available in the SD-WAN.
okay. But still, if I need, can I use F5, a pair in each and every branch, or not required?
See, Austin, you have to understand. Let me give an idea. I believe you're thinking, see, F5 have the different role, right? Firewall have the different role. Router have the different role. Okay. Proxy have different role. Make sense?
Yeah.
So switch have the different role. Every devices product have the different role. If I'm talking about the firewall, it's more about the security. It is going to secure your sessions. It is going to do the filtering. You're going to give the inspection of the traffic. Router is more about the routing. Proxy is just, hide your private LAN. It is going to take everything and going to make on behalf of you any session toward the destinations. Switch is just switching, giving the ports and all. Similarly, F5 is pure load balancers. Okay. Means let's suppose you have to understand where I can use the load balancer. You cannot use load balancer on the every branch locations. It's used where you have the hub location, data center location. We have the servers. Why F5 required? Because you have the multiple servers and lot of traffic is going to come. So how I can load balance the traffic with the help of the load balancers? What is the method I'm going to use that? How I can secure my application by deploying the web application firewall? So every branch doesn't require the load balancing because there are the users. User doesn't require the F5. F5 required by the data center where application are going to be hosted. Make sense? So you do not have to worry about the load balancer should be deployed on the branch location unless or until your company branch hosting the servers. If they are hosting the servers, then probably you're going to require the F5 just to make sure they have the proper load balancing method. If not, then you probably not required. It's going to require in the data center. So this
Yeah,
is how
in data center, especially in the DMZ zone, public facing applications. So there we require F5 to load balance the traffic for those servers to access.
again I want to correct you, Austin. It's not only the public facing application, it could be the your internal application. Even the load balancer is going to required. Most of the cases you're going to have public facing application, might be an organization, but most of the organization even have their internal application who are just, let's suppose SCL is a big organization, right? And SCL have the mysl.com. That is a single application which is going to access by the all users. And SCL have the globally thousands of the like or more than thousands of the employee, right? They're accessing the same application, so they can use the F5 to just their data center to just offload the traffic from one server to another server. So it could be internal, external, both, but the main purpose to just offload traffic so that we can easily manage our applications. That's the F5. So you might not require in every branch to deploy the F5. But if you want to do that, you can integrate that. But the purpose just to load balance the traffic when it is going to land from the LAN or WAN. Clear?
Okay. Yeah, especially in the DCs, we can integrate if it is needed. Right.
Right.
Okay. Thanks.
Good discussion. Any other one have any discussion, guys? Or we are good till here? All right, let's move further. Now let's discuss some basic fundamental, guys, because we have to discuss about the SD-WAN. So I always start some basic fundamentals as well. So we have to discuss about, let me think, just give me 1 second. You're always going to find about the control plane versus data plane versus MG entry plane. So we have to understand what is my control plane, what is my data plane, and what is the management plane. Why it is important? Because when we start this session, let's suppose one of my router is there. This is my router. This every routers must have some sort of the planes. Means they have the control plane, they have the data plane, they have the switch fabric, or might be management plane also going to be there. So why this switch fabric is there? Why the control plane is there? Why the IO module is there? That is basically data plane. And why this switch fabric? Control plane plus management plane might be going to be same on the firewall level, switch level, or my router level. So we have to understand this story and we have to relate this story with the SD-WAN solutions as well. So first, let me explain what is this all three module. Then I'll come back to again on this router and I'll explain. Anyone want to explain what is my control plane of the router? Let's suppose I take the router. So if I, or might be any component, if someone is going to ask, hey, being a L3 engineer, can you explain what is my control plane, data plane, and management plane? Anyone want to say something? Any volunteer? No? Never mind. I'll explain.
The
So see,
control plane is where all the processing is done for the traffic management.
right.
All the decisions take place.
And what is data plane?
Data plane is for the forwarding of the data.
And what is management plane?
Management plane is simply when you to manage a device.
Very nice, Sakib. All right. Thank you so much. So you're absolutely right. So control plane means I have a brain who is going to take a decisions how overall my traffic should be simulated once it is going to hit my router or switches or the firewall. So that controllers or control plane are going to decide from where the traffic come, where they want to go, and how they want to go, and which prefix I need to take to go for the particular destination. That all is going to under the control plane. So it's a central brain which is responsible basically for any routing and policies decisions. And what is a policy decisions, routing decisions means policies again might be you hearing very first time this term, but you must have done in the BGP path manipulations, right? So this is basically path manipulations. Even you have done in the BGP, that is known as the policy manipulations. BGP even that is going to be used, but it's a advanced version. Now we are going to use the policy in the SD-WAN. But any routing protocols, what are the routing protocols? If I'm going to use the static, if I'm going to use dynamic, like OSPF, BGP, EIGRP, ISIS, whatever we have, they are going to use as a dynamic or static routing as a my control plane. They help to decide how my route is coming and where I have to send. So let's suppose this is my one of the router. This router have the ports, 2 ports or might be 3 ports. One device is connected here and one device is connected here. Once the traffic is going to punt on this router, then router is always going to consult to the brain. Who is my brain? That is my control plane and that is my routing table. Hey, can you just help me how the traffic is going to process? Then brain is going to give instructions. You have to forward the traffic via this port, then it is going to process. So the traffic we am receiving on these 2 ports or sending means if I'm receiving the port and sending the port, that is my data plane. Means the actual how my traffic is getting processed from one port to another port, that actually my data plane having a responsibility. Is it clear about the control plane data plane? Any questions? Actual traffic forwarding is actually your ports are going to use, and that is my data plane. If I talk with the management plane, that somewhat in the router and switches, it's similar to the control plane only, but basically it's the operations managers. Basically, it's help to do some reportings, some configuration, some update scheduling. So you just go and use the management plane, and you can do that all work, right? Monitoring and configuration. So the same, if I configure this all 3 feature in the routers, then my routers itself is going to use the control plane module, IO module and switch fabric. In this, let's suppose my any packet is going to head to this particular interface and I want to send via this interface. So what is going to happen? Let's suppose this is having this one IP address and this want to reach to this IP address. So before it is going to send out the packet from one interface to another interface, it will definitely go and consult. Go and consult with the control plane. Hey, control plane, can you just tell me how my traffic is going to process? So this is going to check your routing table. After checking the routing table, it is going to send, you have to forward the traffic from this interface. So these are the basically, this is the one data plane interface. This is another data plane interface. Then your traffic is going to process. Now you can see in this router, this is the Cisco 7604 router. In this router, you can see their control plane is separate unit. IO module is data plane unit. This is the separate unit. But they are connecting via the switch fabric. Means there is a term, the switch fabric. So what is switch fabric? Let's suppose this is the one line card going to enter here. So this is going to make the, jack in the back plane. So it is also going to make the jack, means the once you insert the card, it is going to just, put inside of this particular A6, which is inside of the back plane. So once these are going to insert it here.
There is slots.
Yeah, there are slots. Yeah, there are slots. So once they are going to insert it here, they are going to make the full circuit. So when they are going to make a full circuit, then any information is going from data plane, it is going to reach to the my control plane, and the control plane information is going via the switch fabric to my data plane as well. So that's why how complete closed box architecture is going to look like. Any packet is going to punt to the router. It is going to process back and forth my control plane, data plane via the switch fabric. But this is known as the closed box architecture. Means why closed box architecture? Basically, everything we have to do within the box. You don't have to send any information out of the box for any kind of the processing. Is it clear to everyone? This concept is clear, right? How the control plane, data plane, and switch fabric is available. Just give me thumbs up, you understand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You can even if you give the
Yes,
thumbs
sir.
up, you understand, you understand. Now, moving one step ahead, let's suppose the same thing I want to do with the SD-WAN architecture. Then how it is going to happen? That we have to understand. So again, if you see this SD-WAN architecture, we have again control plane, we have the switch fabric, we have the IO module. But only difference is this SD-WAN architecture having three component, but it looks they are three different geolocations, means they are not the same inbox. So what happened in the previous session, everything inside of the closed box, that is a closed box architecture, but we have to decouple. We have to decouple this entire router component and we have to put somewhere in the central location. Means what is the three component we have? In this router, we have the one box, another box, and a third box. So let's suppose I have the brain. So I'll put all brain here. So my brain are going to be here. So this is known as the collections of brain. That is my control plane. So this is my control plane. This is my, like, ports are going to be there. Means different ports are going to be there. So they are the basically collections of IO modules. IO modules, input output modules, or might be the ports modules, like gig ports, fiber ports. So what is going to happen from there? You're going to connect the devices. There are two components I put in two different locations. One is collection of the ports, but they not have the brain. This is the brainless. They not have the brain. Brain is here. I remove the brain from the router, put in this location, and I put the port here. But now brain need to talk with this dummy ports. How it is possible? So I'll put here switch fabric. The router is same, but I split in the three different part. And now I have to make the connectivity so that if my port want to talk to brain, they will go to the switch fabric, then they will go to the brain, then brain give the instruction, then again via the switch fabric it will come to the router. So earlier it was happening everything within the box, but now I split all three components in three different locations and it moving to the my controllers where my brain is going to be situated, and then it is going to come to my actual device where my actual means the IO ports where my actual device are connected. So that's why you can see here, we decouple the entire box and make the SD-WAN solution architecture. In this case, whatever the routers we have in the data plane, whatever the routers in the IO module, you can see here, this is the IO module. They are the basically routers. So let's suppose I have thousands routers. So thousands routers, all brain, I put it here. Sorry, what happened? So thousands route brain are going to be here. So all brain are going to be here. So this is the collection of brain. This is a collection of brain. Now, this is my routers. It's going to be there. This is the actual routers. But these routers are basically brainless routers. There's no brain. So if this router want to switch any traffic, they must have to go to this brain and do the consultation. Then we require the switch fabric here. So here we have the switch fabric. This switch fabric is nothing, they are your ISPs. Means it could be in SD-WAN, your MPLS, your broadband, your 4G LTE, whatever you can think, they are going to be there. And they are responsible to make the communication from brain to data plane and data plane to brain. So that's how this decoupling is going to be happen, and you are going to make entire SD-WAN solution from your router to the control plane and control plane to the router. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now might be the question going to come in your mind, why this decoupling solutions come in around 2015 and 16? Why not earlier SD-WAN solution was there when we're running the MPLS and BGP? So the simple answer was, if I talk about the internet like status in 2009, 10, 11, 12, that was not that much good as compared to today. Earlier, if you have to download any movie, any kind of the file, it was taking a lot of time. The internet was very much slow. So if my internet is very much slow, and let's suppose this brain want to give some instruction to router want to talk to my brain, it is going to take a lot of time, or might be my latency is going to be high, so my communication is not going to be happen on time, and might be I'm going to lose some kind of the connectivity. So that's why internet was not stable, not reliable earlier. That's why this solution was not possible. When internet become very reliable, very fast everywhere, then we can think like real time instruction is going to the brain and it's coming back to the again router. So there is no latency. Even you have the latency, then again you have the problem. Your tunnels are going to be flap, your tunnels are going to be down, so you have to troubleshoot. So whenever you have to build SD-WAN solutions, they are going to build the control tunnels. And these tunnels are basically going to have to get the information from the brains by running the your routing protocols. That is the OMP, overlay management protocol. We'll discuss about that. So if my latency is going to happen in this particular link, that is ISP link, then my tunnels are going to flap. If my tunnels are going to flap, then my communication is going to break. So you have to make sure you have the dual redundancy, you have the very reliable connectivity, so that your SD-WAN solution is going to be very, strong, or might be the very reliable. Clear? So all routers are brainless, means routing capability उनके पास नहीं होगा. They will not do the routing capability. Always they have to depend on the brains. Means router is going to get the routing information from brain. If brain is going to be dead, they are going to stay for the service for certain time period, but they are going to be dead. Finally, they are going to be dead. Okay. So let me so you can see here. Traditional WAN again, we have the management plane, we have the data plane, we have the control plane. So same thing we have done discussion before we start this like actual SD-WAN discussion. You must have to be very good understanding about how this router architecture is going to look like. And once we decouple this architecture in the SD-WAN architecture, then my architecture is going to look like in this way. We have some centralized controllers, and centralized controllers are basically have three planes: orchestration plane, management plane, control plane, and data plane. Means these are three planes. So probably we'll start doing discussion each plane from tomorrow, and I'll try to explain one by one how these are going to be defined, what are the key concepts, right? And how we can understand step by step theoretically. So tomorrow we'll start this particular concept as well about the controllers. So before I can bind up, because I know this is the beginning of the sessions, so we'll go initially slow. So I give 7 more minutes or 10 more minutes. You guys ask your questions, ask anything related to this particular session, any doubt, any quick, any kind of a concern, so we can have a discussion. Any open questions, guys, please feel free to ask. If you have any doubt, anything you want to ask, might be not clear, any feedback, anything.
I have questions, sir. What is the difference between this cloud and SD-WAN? As per the market,
Okay,
like
cloud and SD-WAN. Okay,
the
all right. So basically, cloud is basically solutions where might be you are going to host your services. So you have to understand, if I talk about the cloud, so there is two things you have to understand. One is the data center based services, one is the cloud based services. So if I talk about a data center, that means your data center is going to host your servers. Whatever servers you have, the data center is going to host inside of that particular means server going to host in a data center. But this data center might be going to cost a lot. You have to pay electricity, you have to pay for the engineer's salary, you have to pay for the maintenance of the particular location, or might be buy the property where you are going to host the data center. But the cloud is offering the different options where you can rent your services. Means if you put your services there, applications there, and based on that, they are going to give some, monthly kind of the charges, and you have to pay that. That's a rental, you have to pay that. So that is going to save a lot cost. So basically, cloud is a solution where you don't have to host your own infrastructure. You just use the renting based services, and based on that, you can do whatever you want to do in the networking and security infrastructure. Just take an example, very simple example. One, we have the USB drive, right? And one, I can just go cloud drive. That's the Google drive. You can just, so you have to understand what is different with the USB drive and the cloud drive. So USB drive, that means this is the device hardware you have to manage by yourself, right? Everything means you have to put the files. If it is going to be dead, then you have to do the recovery. If you have to go anywhere, you have to carry this. If this is going to lost, then you are going to lost everything, or might we have to make the backup of the drive. So this is your own responsibility. Any kind of things is going to happen, you are going to manage. But if I'm going to use the same as already Google Drive, first thing, I don't have to carry this physical device, and I don't have to pay anything for this device, right? Now this Google Drive or Google Cloud Drive is going to accessible from the anywhere across the world. Even I'm traveling from India to Australia, I can use my all resources without carrying this USB drive. So this is going to be always available from anywhere accessible. I don't have any worry about the maintenance of this USB. It is going to be lost. It is going to be like not going to work. Anything is going to be happen. So that's a simple difference between the data center versus cloud, right? So cloud is something which is going to host your services, and based on that, they're going to charge you as a rental, and you can put your all server or applications there. That's the cloud. Now, if I talk about SD-WAN, SD-WAN is going to integrate with your cloud to access these services from your branch location. Let's suppose you are in the branch location and you want to access the services within the cloud. Then you require some transport, no? So that you can reach there. Let's suppose you want to travel somewhere from one location to another location. So you require some good road, or might be transportation media, airplane I need to require, or might be a train is going to require. So there are transportation media where you can reach from one place to another place. So similarly, cloud is going to host your services, application and data centers application, but you require some transport ISP. So ISP might be you're going to use your WAN, that is going to be slow. SD-WAN is going to be fast, not slow, but WAN having the low features, but SD-WAN having the high features, high security. So this is going to help to just, integrate your data center connectivity, your cloud connectivity, and you can access them from anywhere from the branch location. Is it clear? Make sense?
Yes, because I'm just want to understand like how SD-WAN will help us in the current market, because most of the companies are migrating from SD-WAN to the cloud.
So no, most of the company not migrating from SD-WAN to cloud. SD-WAN is not data center solution. They are migrating from data center to cloud. That's the correct statement. You might be not aware. The service are getting migrated from data center to cloud. That's the correct statement, not SD-WAN to cloud. This is not correct statement. They might be migrating from WAN to SD-WAN. That's the correct statement. But SD-WAN is one different technology. It's a WAN technology. So it is not going to migrate in the cloud. You can do in this way. Your own services are going to migrate to the cloud, and you can integrate them via the SD-WAN. Okay, Nishant. So SD-WAN is something a WAN kind of the services which is just going to make the connectivity. It's not like you migrate WAN in the cloud. It's not possible even.
Yeah, SD-WAN is just a WAN, but
Yeah. Yes, Akhil.
yeah, no, I was just saying that SD-WAN is just a WAN. Instead of legacy WAN, it's SD-WAN. So
Right. Nishant, you get it? Might be you have
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
misconception, but
yeah,
SD-WAN never going to migrate in the cloud, right? You can integrate SD-WAN in the cloud. That's the clear. Even you can deploy the SD-WAN router in the cloud. That's also possible. But if someone is going to say my SD-WAN is going to migrate in the cloud, that's incorrect. Data centers, internal applications are going to migrate in the cloud. That's the correct statement. Cloud is something is the services where you can host my application servers like that. Good question, by
I'm,
the way. Yeah.
I'm clear with
Thank you, Nishan. Any other questions, guys? Anyone have?
Yes, next question from my side.
Mhm.
Um, so let's say, sir, just you know, take it as I'm an enterprise entrepreneur. Okay, I'm running an organization. So my organization is very big and with many branches worldwide. Okay. So all this while, I'm running MPLS, which is legacy. Now I got to know that SD-WAN is a new technology. So now I'm initiating to migrate from MPLS to SD-WAN. I'm going to spend crores up together buying the contract with Cisco and spending many things on the devices, right?
Mhm.
So on the same MPLS old technology, I'm just uh, deploying the SD-WAN for whatever expenses it's going to take. So I'm ready to spend. Okay. So now SD-WAN has all the features that MPLS it does not have. So I can get definitely many more benefits. Okay. So after deploying the SD-WAN in my enterprise, so I want to go for AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning as well. Because nowadays every enterprise is talking about AI and machine learning. Okay, lot of say machine. As far as I know, my understanding about artificial intelligence is like repetitive tasks, whatever we humans are doing. Okay, so it's going to take care automation and whatever the things are going wrong, unexpected after deploying the SD-WAN. So as a human, I may not have, understanding the deepest knowledge to check what is what, how to fix the issue timely if it is a priority one. So artificial intelligence can, it has own intelligence. It can identify the issue and it can sort it out. So do you think uh, AI and machine learning, is it integrated with SD-WAN if I want, or we can't use this at all?
No, definitely. That's a good question because AI and ML is like emerging technology, right?
Yeah,
And everyone is talking about this, right? So,
yeah.
first of all, these all are possible to integrate. And already, if I talk about the Cisco SD-WAN, they have one concept that is the V analytics, right? And also, you have one of the product that is known as the 1000i. If you just go and search about it, 1000 sign V analytics, right? So they are basically based on the AI and ML. So that's why we have the third party API integration. So you can integrate this SD-WAN with these tools, right? And they are basically going to understand your all traffic pattern, right? They are going to deduct any abnormal, right? Tunnel behaviors, right? Routing problems, right? Application degradations, any kind of the potential link failure, they're going to address. And based on that, they're going to give the proactive tickets because AI and ML are going to be keep eye and watching on your all services. And based on that, they're going to give the real-time solutions, how this is going to be solved even. So you can always do the integration AI and ML with the V analytics and the 1000 SI. That is absolutely possible, Austin. And it is going to be doable. So if your organization have these tools, you can integrate with the REST API and it is 100% going to work. But it requires subscription for these tools.
or is
So
this the
for
same? Is this the same concept as QoE, quality of experience?
QoE basically we are going to use here. I will explain. That's a cloud on ramp. QoE basically quality of experience is basically for the applications. This is for the just for the application, like any SaaS applications you are going to use. Let's suppose Dropbox, right? Drive, that O365. They are going to give the quality of experience from the multiple link, which link is performing better, and based on that, your traffic is automatically going to fail over. I'll show you how it is going to happen. But if you want to do the overall monitoring, advanced monitoring, you want to do the analytics, thousands I integration for the AI internal health integration, then basically you have to take the subscriptions, then it is possible, and you have to do the integrations. But yeah, they are the advanced feature AI and ML based. That's absolutely possible. But in Cisco SD-WAN, let me see if this box have anything. Let's scroll down. So see here, we have the alarm monitoring audit. So we not have any kind of the AI and ML integration directly with this dashboard. So as per my base knowledge, still they can have the real-time monitoring, but they can give the performance of the links. They are very advanced, but they not have the AI kind of the stuffs. I can say it's already integrated. So if you want to do that integration, absolutely possible. We can do via the REST API, and the thousands I and my VNLTs are going to basically help. Good question, Austin.
Yeah, so those ML and AI based V analytics and thousand eyes. So these are fully licensed versions which we need to buy and integrate with my SD-WAN, right?
Yeah, basically, these are the tools you have to take from the Cisco, right? For the advanced analysis, like Cisco have a lot of tools, right?
Okay.
The Cisco umbrella, you know that, right? Cisco umbrella DNS security. So you have to take that license, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have a lot of tools and they have a lot of pricing. So you have to talk with the sales team. They will help you that.
Okay, got it.
Got it?
Mm, yeah. So now, as an engineer, as a network engineer, so SD-WAN deployment once it is done, now my responsibility is to take care and keep an eye day by day. So V analytics and your thousands eyes will take care of that. And still, human intervention is needed. So automation, AI, and ML. Do I need to still learn something automation stuff to get that expertise even after getting expertise on SD-WAN
No,
technology?
actually,
Or
if you have the tool, right? See, human intervention, human intelligence, nobody's going to replace. You know that.
yeah,
Tools
yeah.
having their own limitation that made by the humans only. So my suggestions, you should know how to use the tool, how to read the artifacts which is coming on the tool. That's the first thing. You have to know about it. The
Mhm.
second thing, you know how logic is working about any kind of the problem. Let's suppose your tunnel is flapping, your link is down, your application is not working correctly, it's having a slowness. So how your structured calibrated approach is going to be used there to make sure you doing the troubleshooting in right direction, and you can comparing those troubleshooting with your tools capabilities as well. So you have the human analysis plus tool analysis, and you can club them together. You can give the final summary or might be the troubleshooting or any remediation plan to just fix that issue. So automation is something different. Automation comes when you have to do the lot of repetitive work in one go, right? So if you know the automation, that's definitely going to be, very good. If you know Ansible,
Mhm.
JSON, Python, and integrate the router and switches, how it is going to happen. That's the different story. Definitely you have to learn about that. So
Okay.
that automation is definitely going to give an advantage, but learning the AI tool is something you playing with the AI tools with their intelligence. You don't have to build the AI tool. You have to just play with that AI tool, right? You can just think about you have to drive the car, right? So you know
Yeah.
how to drive the car, but if you just think how I can build the car, then I drive, then it's going to be complicated for you. Understand?
Okay.
So my recommendation, just know the tool, know the concept, then your life is going to be easy.
Okay. To know the tools and concepts to get that those abilities, those capabilities to analyze the logs and understand the tools, do I need to learn these courses like Python, Ansible, or something?
No,
Say
no,
like,
no. That's the completely. If you want to build the tool, if you want to do the extensive automations script, then you have to learn it. But for SD-WAN, we are talking right now, for that it is not required.
okay,
For this SD-WAN, you don't have to learn any kind of the automation. That's, I can say responsibly, right? But you have a plan to become a DevNet engineer and you want to play with the different advanced codes, then you go and please learn. They have the very good future.
okay, okay. Requirement is like now from one mind, a lot of things are expected.
No. You just yeah, it's a human nature. I can understand your context because you're talking and touching every technology. I really appreciate you thinking a lot, right? And that's a good approach, right? Even I think a lot for the technology point of view. But just my one suggestion: think, but go one by one for the all step-by-step process. Means learn one thing first, then go for second, then third, then fourth. But never stop continuous learning.
Yeah.
You're going to get very good, structured like concept in your mind, how things are working and why it is going to utilize. Okay, guys, see you again tomorrow. And tomorrow is going to be, controller discussion. So I hope everyone is going to join and on time we'll start. Okay. See you. Bye bye. Take care.
Yes, sir. Thank you.